We are streaming to YouTube and we are streaming to Twitch.
I can't see your screen, so I don't even know what we're doing.
Yeah, and I forgot to open the damn thing, so we're just gonna go without the.
I don't- But I never know when the music's done.
Yeah, well, it's not gonna be playing because I forgot it. So we're
Forgot.
just gonna go. We're
Oh,
just gonna go. What's up, everybody?
we're-
This is Everyday Talks with Aiko.
And Psycho. Hey, everybody, take a moment to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're always notified when we drop new content. I also want to advise you we got a little housekeeping news we want to get into here before we start going into our subject is that we will be starting a Twitter account for Everyday Talks with Ico and Psycho. And when we get that information out, we'll be happily to share it. And we'll be including it on our Twitch and our YouTube descriptions so that you can easily find us. And we'll try to get a link in there as well.
Indeed. Today's topic is going to be the apocalypse. Just the general idea of what an apocalypse could be, the scenarios we could go through, and so on so far.
And different things you can do to try to survive an apocalypse, not having electricity or access to vehicles or telephones, cell phones. We all rely on cell technology. How are we going to survive this? I mean, if we don't have any power, the stuff in your fridge and freezer will be gone within a week. Are you going to eat after that? Let's talk about it.
Ooh, that's true. Well, one of the things you could do in that kind of scenario, no electricity and whatnot, the more you dig into the earth, the colder it does get. So you could potentially like create an area underground, maybe even put a little bit of water in it. And as long as your stuff is in bottles and whatnot, and you cleaned it every so often, you could keep your stuff relatively cool. Maybe not ice cold, but relatively decent. Because that's something that people would do to keep out of like a hot area, and I think that that's a survival tactic even in like this Sahara Desert, is to like dig a ditch really low, and you can actually stay cool and away from the sandstorms, of course, in the Sahara for that also to be added on.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be like cellars, cool storage, not cold storage, but cool storage, where you can keep your canned goods and things like that. So you don't have to worry about your canned peaches fermenting. That'd be great.
That would be
I
wonderful.
Yeah, we have to if like something like that happened and we lost access to vehicles and we lost access to electricity and things like that, we'd literally have to learn how to live before technology, before electricity, before all that. So we're literally going back to the 1800s and trying to eke out an existence. And it's possible because they did it back then, so that means we could do it now. It would just be very difficult.
Uh, that's true. I mean, where we've come with technology is both better and lamer because you have to look at the fact that companies are just like, oh, well, how can we save money? Oh, their phone or their fridge, or depending on how they treat it, it'll last them a good couple of years, and then they're gonna have to buy a new one. And that's how they make their money nowadays and stuff. Back in the day, your stuff would last you basically forever. And now they're just like it's all a money thing anyway. So when it shuts down, it's not going to be long before it does. If an actual apocalypse took place, if there's not enough people to upkeep something, then absolutely things can shut down. However, if enough people survive with different backgrounds and knowledges, I think building towers that could supply electricity and stuff at the very least would be potentially possible. And radios would definitely, if still active, be one of the perfect things to use because that just runs off of that signal between them in the first place. So you'd still be able to contact people, but not in the same manner. And then with electricity, you could charge it. So, I mean, that's a bit of a win in the first place.
Right, right, right. I hear what you're saying. Absolutely.
I do have a list of different types of apocalyptic events that the government has apparently prepared for. And it says so the first one is alien invasion. Then we have
Oh
life-ending
God.
asteroid impact, World
Hold up.
ravaging
Hold
plagues.
up. Hold up. You said alien invasion, and it's number one on the list. I want to point that out because that's like the most likely scenario I think that the government thinks is that there would be an alien invasion. And we got to worry about Aiko because he does not want a satellite up his ass. Just put that one out there.
Thanks for that like nice little reminder. No shit, I'm pretty sure you
You're
don't want one up
alien.
your ass either. I don't think anyone wants an actual satellite up their ass that folds up back into your rectum. Moving on. Number two,
Satellite
life-ending asteroid impact. So basically, what
that's
people believe happened to the
scary.
dinosaurs.
Yeah, I
Um,
wonder if that actually like what did happen to the dinosaurs? Like where'd they go?
I mean, the flood would explain it too if you go based on religion and stuff.
Isn't a rhino isn't a rhinoceros a dinosaur? Isn't that is that considered a dinosaur that survived?
I don't think so. No,
A rhin-
I'm not sure
Did you
actually.
know did you know hippopotamuses? Is it hippopotamuses or hippopotami?
I think it's I'm actually not sure now that you say it. I was about to say hippopotamuses, but now I'm not even sure.
Well, let's just go with hippos. Did you know hippos are mean?
Well, duh. You know that they could
I
bite
just
you like in half and break all your bones in one chomp?
I always just thought of them as underwater cows. I
Yeah,
had no idea
no.
that they were mean until I saw a thing with hippopotamuses being mean.
They are
Now
powerful, fast, and apparently terrifying as hell.
they're fast.
Yeah, apparently they're
What
pretty
the
dang
heck?
fast. Like your average human probably cannot outrun it, basically, I think. I'm pretty
In the
confident in
water?
that.
On land.
Let me Google this. I gotta find this out. How fast are hippos? They can run 30 miles an hour.
Well, as long as you can run 30.5 miles per hour
Yeah,
without
no,
falling
you
down,
can't. That's
you'll be
faster than a
okay.
bike goes on average.
Look how cute those hippos are in these pictures. Click on that one, right? The first one.
Yeah, I
Yeah, look
know.
how cute is that? Look at how
It's
cute that
terrifying.
little
Okay, so
hippopotamus is.
30 miles an hour on land, they're not as they can go about 4 to 5 meters per minute in water. So if you're a really really fast swimmer, maybe, but I don't know how that equates. Let me see. How
I bet
fast
you could
was the
outrun one in a canoe.
fastest runner? Yeah, see, even that's Usain, right? Yeah, Usain Bolt at his fastest, 28 miles an hour. Let's just say it. So a hippo naturally can run faster than you. And this is the fastest runner, so no one can run at 30.5. Now, you probably could ride a bike at that speed, but they naturally inhabit, Amazon forests and whatnot, so I don't think we're too in danger of that. But, ooh, let's get into that. If an apocalypse actually did happen, assuming that everything just goes well, all the nuclear power plants are shut down, and everything and like life can actually go on. There's not a lot of humans left, and eventually the decay and rot goes away. Animals are going to repopulate the earth a lot faster than humans because most animals naturally have at least like two or three, or like cats will have litters, dogs will have a bunch of puppies and stuff. And
But
if they're
you're
if they're not trained and they're not raised, they are naturally going to be vicious.
listen, listen. You're not including people like the Duggars.
The what?
Now, if you have a whole bunch of people like those Duggars, 19 kids and counting, 20 kids and counting, I don't know, they have like 20 or 21 kids. You get a whole slew of them Duggars, boom, Earth repopulated in 20 years.
Okay, 20 years. But almost every animal is going to have at least eight or nine at one time. And since animals all they do is eat, sleep, and have sex and stuff in the long run, and then like maybe guard
Sleep,
their
sleep,
homes
and
or something, then they are going to still repopulate far faster than humans, especially
but
depending
we're
on how
still the
far away humans are away
population.
from each other.
But we're still top of the food chain, so they're most likely going after natural prey. And you got to remember, Adam and Eve survived it, so why couldn't we, as a new group of
Well, if you
survivors of
believe
any
in
type of
religion,
apocalypse
Adam and
survive as
Eve were
well?
in the one place that God was in, and none of those animals in that area were harmful whatsoever.
Um, Hello, they got kicked out,
And God stayed with them,
but they still had animals.
and God still protected them and watched out for them. Based on the Bible, if you've got God, you really don't have to worry about anything, even when bad things do happen.
Okay, well, what I'm saying is people did it before, they can do it again.
Right, but we won't have the technology we have now, and you would still need a decent amount of people to fight off a lion or a
My
bear.
point being, they didn't have the technology then either, yet somehow they did it.
Yeah, it was called
Dude, there was
armies.
man and saber-toothed tigers, and they survived. So, I mean, we're
Well, okay,
again,
they
we
were a lot
talked
more
about this
fit.
earlier.
Let's get into that. Fitness will be a big deal. You're going to need to be capable of building shelters, getting yourself where you need to go. If you live in a tree house, you have to be able to climb up there. I would assume that a staircase is not your best bet simply because animals would be able to get to you better. So if you had like a rope ladder, then you'd be able to get up and down easier and then just take the ladder up with you. But you'd need to have the upper body and like strength and everything to be capable of doing these things. Your natural person nowadays, I don't think they really stand a chance against animals. Back in the day, absolutely. Those people were constantly working out, basically with their bodies and stuff.
I
Nowadays, people just sit at
disagree with
computers.
you. Cavemen lived in caves, hence their name. Neanderthals lived in
Yeah,
caves.
they lived in
They
caves and they
lived in
still went out
caves.
and hunted and they did
They went
physical
out and
work.
hunted,
Yeah, they were physically fit to do it. I can tell you right
but they
now,
went
I
out
don't
and
think I would
hunted.
survive, except by luck.
Well, I mean, that's you. I'm gonna survive because I got a freezer full of food. I'll trade cigarettes for food.
Okay, so what happened to no electricity and your freezer's not working? I gotta ask that
I'm
real
gonna.
quick.
Oh, okay. So it'll be like Gilligan's Island. You just build a bike and some belts and make it run. You just use your bike and run it
You know what? That's a
every day
good
for an
point.
hour.
That is a good point. You could literally
You
just
survive
run.
like Gilligan's Island.
Yeah, you could literally just connect a few wires and stuff and then generate electricity by running two plates together. I believe copper would actually work to generate electricity if you build it right. And that's based on
I
an
would
anime I
too.
watched called Dr. Stone. Basically, the whole world gets reset. Everybody turns to stone, and
Ooh.
yeah, so a light like flashes and it gets across the entire world. Everybody literally just turns to stone, and some
Hmm.
people wake up. And he's a genius. He basically rebuilds the world and gives everybody electricity and everything. And the only people that initially survived were some people that went up to space to be astronauts from Japan, and they saw it from space. And shortly after that, they go back down to Earth, and they find out everybody's turned to stone. So they have kids, it's basically your Neanderthals, literally, because they have no idea what's what and how to do anything. So he rebuilds the world and he starts figuring out how to make all these drinks and stuff. He makes soda in one of the episodes for one of the characters and stuff. And the entire world has been they've everyone's been turned to stone for like the last 2 to 3,000 or 200,000 or whatever years. The entire time he's been counting the seconds. So that's how he knows how long he's been encased in freaking stone. And he's counting the seconds the entire stinking time. And I'm
I've
just
never
like,
heard of this. Is this a show or a movie?
it's a show. It's called Doctor Stone. It's an anime. It's fantastic. It's one of my favorites. When I finally
No,
got to
I've
watch
never
it,
heard
I
of
was
that.
super excited because every episode it's actual real science. He teaches you what you need to combine, where you can generally find it in like a wilderness scenario, which is the whole world now because it's been 2,000, 200,000, whatever years it was. So there's trees everywhere. Everything's overgrown. There's absolutely no electricity or anything. No one knows how to do any of that and stuff. And he figures out how to get people's petrification undone, turning to stone thing. And every episode, he learns something new and new. And but they revive somebody pretty early on, and he basically is just like strong as heck. He literally beats up a lion in the first episode. He was like the high school champion wrestler and also like the world's champion. He was that strong and ridiculously crazy tough. And he ends up being like, you know what? Screw science. I'm gonna kill you if you continue to do this. And so now you've got two factions, and he figures out the recipe to revive people too. So he makes it himself because it's relatively easy, and he starts reviving like some of the strongest known people that he can find, and making an
Mhm.
army. And the other guy, the genius, he's doing the same thing essentially, but he's trying to get people that are gonna want a regular world and to be go back to where we were before and rebuild. And it
Right.
it gets
Well,
crazy. There are so many
I
amazing
don't,
things they do.
yeah, I don't think we'll ever have to worry about that type of apocalypse.
Well, maybe not that type, but if it takes long enough and if people get separated enough, see, that's another big thing is that there are going to be the factions of people that are divided up that just kill and or eat their own and stuff. So yeah, you can have families that potentially give birth to
Well,
like 11 children or something.
slow down. Stop for a second. Stop for a second. Now, you're worried about people engaging in cannibalism, but
Absolutely.
not too long ago, you just told me that the animal population would explode. So there's no reason to eat other human beings when you have easy access to food.
That depends on whether or not you're willing to, and depends on whether or not you've already had a taste for human flesh. People will still
I,
revert to that in that kind of scenario. People are crazy. And in an apocalyptic scenario, when you go from having like everything at your fingertips online and electricity and driving your car somewhere, and now you can't and you have access to nothing, you're wandering by yourself or with a few people, and you basically have a stick with some nails in it or a baseball bat or something and maybe a couple guns if you take care of them. I mean, eventually if you run out of the natural foods, I mean, you can tear through an animal in a couple of days with just a few people if you know how to, clean it and cook it and stuff. So if you run out of animals in the general area and you have to go several miles, who's to say that the leader just goes, you know what, screw it, you're the least of us, die, kills someone, everyone develops a taste for human, and they're just like, huh, maybe we, send out a radio signal because, like I said, those could still potentially
here's
be
my
used. And they go, hey, we've got
here's
a
my
shelter.
thoughts on that. Yeah, here's my thoughts on that. At the end of the day, then maybe you should probably be hanging out with vegans during that. I'm just putting that one out there. Just,
That's fair.
keep it with the vegans.
Oh,
Yep, keep with the
that
vegans, and then you don't have to worry about them eating you. I
well,
think
that way
that
I don't have to worry about them eating my meat
I think
either.
that humans reverting to cannibalism is like a worst case scenario. I think that would only happen if the animal population didn't explode. I have like I like to think that for the most part, there's not very many like Jeffrey Dahmers out there that would, survive some sort of apocalypse and just try to eat fellow survivors, especially if you can catch a rabbit or a squirrel or a deer and have
Okay,
food.
then let me put this out there. The animal kingdom would explode if given enough time. It would take far less time for them to explode and grow exponentially than it would for humans to, unless, of course, enough people had, yes, like 10 or 11 kids. But that's still going to take 10 or 11 years, unless they're all twins, in which case it'll take 4 or 5 years still. Whereas an animal can have upwards to like 9 or 10 puppies or cats or lions or tigers
Or
in one
bears, oh
go.
my.
And well, I don't think bears. I think they probably have up to like twins or triplets. I think I don't actually know,
I
but
You don't know lions, tigers, and bears, oh my.
I know it. Okay, never mind. I didn't catch that. Anyway,
Ah!
anyway, so I mean, in the long run, yes, animals would repopulate far faster than humans, but if an apocalypse scenario breaks out and a lot of animals die too, because if it's a big time apocalypse where like nukes fall and blow up most of the world, then that includes the animal population is going to die down and some of them possibly even go extinct, depending on how many are actually left. So that means far less meat for us to eat. And we also, if there's enough humans, we have to be careful not to kill all of them too. So we'd have to be some form of conservative towards meat if that's what we eat. Simply due to if we extinguish the lives of enough animals, then we're screwed, and we would have to essentially, if we want meat bad enough, we would have to resort to cannibalism because
Just go find you a chicken farm and hole up there. Then you have eggs and chickens.
hopefully people would be, not too brain dead to actually do that. That
I
would
mean,
be a
that's
good
like
idea
the
though.
perfect place to go. Yeah, go to a chicken farm, especially if you like chicken. I'm like, I could eat chicken pretty much every day. I have no problems with chicken. And if you're lucky, you might get a couple of swine and a cow or two, and then have like milk and pork chops. Yeah,
True.
bacon. Some of you listeners love bacon. Bacon is good. Okay.
Candy bacon.
I've never had candied bacon. Let's talk about that.
Brown sugar on bacon, put it in the oven, cook it. It
Oh, that
is so good.
specific recipe. Can we get more details? You just sprinkle brown sugar on
You
the bacon and bake
literally
it.
just put brown sugar on the bacon and bake it. Yeah.
What about like real maple syrup too? Like do brown sugar and maple syrup on it.
Well, I think to make it better in my case is you want to cook the bacon at least a little bit, like halfway, then put the brown sugar on. Because depending on how cooked you like your bacon, the brown sugar will some of it will come out burned. It's still good, it's still sweet, you still taste the bacon, but sometimes it does come out burned because it's sugar. That's easy to do. I think in the same case, maple syrup should go on after you've cooked the bacon. That was just my
How do you?
opinion on that.
I don't know because you want the maple and the brown sugar to like caramelize onto the bacon, and then it should sizzle up with all that fat on the bacon. What kind of bacon would you propose using?
As far as I'm concerned, it didn't matter. Like my parents have bought several different kinds of bacon over the years, and I've had it on each of them, and it was good.
I
Thicker
like
thicker
low
bacon's
sodium
better.
bacon.
I'll just say thicker is better, because
I love a
that way
good
you
thick
get
slice of bacon.
yeah yeah exactly.
Yeah, I like
It
a
comes
lot
with more
of
flavor.
bacon. Yeah, I love bacon. Oh, bacon is so good. Bacon. I have a friend I went to high school with. She makes the best bacon gravy for biscuits. Oh, it's so good. I'm like, I like sausage gravy. I'm a biscuits and gravy girl. I love me some sausage gravy on a biscuit. But I had her bacon gravy, which I thought, ew, bacon gravy, never heard of it. I gave it a shot, and it was freaking amazing. I like literally loved it.
Ooh.
I ate two biscuits. I usually can just do one. One biscuit with the gravy. Oh yeah,
I
I
mean,
ate two.
living off of bread would not be too hard either if you know how to deal with, wheat and crops and stuff. Making a
I
farm
don't know.
wouldn't be too hard. We wouldn't have, the equipment we have nowadays in an apocalyptic scenario, most likely, unless you lived near enough to a farm and happened to survive and their items were still intact. You just kept up with it and whatnot. That's assuming you know how to, fix any of it yourself to begin with. Because if technology goes down, because in an apocalyptic scenario, let's just say all of, landlines go down, electricity overall is no more. You have to kind of rebuild it yourself. That's assuming you know how. If all of that goes down, that means there's no internet. You can't be like, hey, Google, how do I fix this? What YouTube video can I watch to follow how this guy fixes, anything?
Well, random historical factoid about wheat is did you know like back in the Middle Ages, peasants they weren't super healthy nor were like the wealthy because, their diets relied on weather and things like that. And they were going through a like what we call a mini ice age. So their
Ooh,
crops weren't doing well, they had plagues and things like that. But random factoid about wheat is the peasantry ate the brown bread, which is actually better for you, like the whole wheat or
right.
with the yeah, they ate the brown bread and the more finer the wheat was, the higher in the class you were, and they weren't getting the healthy bread. It actually wasn't as good for them as it was for the peasants. And another rando factoid is that because of the way that they ground the wheat, there was always like dirt and stones and bugs and stuff in their flour. Ew. Yeah, I like our
Well,
modern time.
let's also point out the fact that we would probably have to resort to eating bugs.
You would eat bugs. I'm not eating no bugs. You couldn't catch me near a bug. I see a bug and I'm running the opposite way. I'm not looking at it like it's dinner. Uh-uh. No,
Good.
thank you very much.
Good
We
luck.
take a big hard pass on that. Next. Next. Not doing it. Mm-mm,
I
no, we'll
mean,
not eat a bug.
because here's another point. When it comes to the animal kingdom, you have to also think about the bug kingdom. If the apocalypse happens, there's not billions of humans to stomp on every kind of spider and spray them down with pesticides and stuff, and all those ant killers and spider killing chemicals. Then they are going to reproduce massively because, just as an example, a spider on average lays like a few hundred or like 50 to 100 or 200 eggs in one go, and that will hatch, and they will spread around and lay eggs that will hatch. Same with scorpions and centipedes and beetles and everything under the dang sun.
All
Eh,
right. So you're volunteering yourself to go out and eat all the bugs?
no.
Well, you got
Nope.
to think too, though.
I
Bugs
mean,
have natural predators in the wild, and they're spreading too. The more predators there are, the more food they need. So, there's birds and things like that are going to eat them damn bugs, especially when they're babies. It's like tender flesh.
yeah, but let's talk about the ones that are indoors. Where
Well,
the,
I mean, I don't know if you've ever watched the show like When the Earth Ends or whatever, or the world ends, or I can't remember what it's called, but it shows like what would happen within so many years in cities and houses and cars and things like that after so many years, how nature reclaims itself. And buildings wouldn't last as long as you think they would. And if spiders and stuff are getting in there, that means windows will break, doors will fall open, which means animals can get in, natural predators, bats, birds, the whole nine, and prey on those bugs. And so they might be increasing exponentially, but they have natural predators that are also increasing. So that's my theory. I mean, I'm not like a super genius or anything, but
I mean, that's a
I'm
good
not
point.
super worried about bugs. That'll give you nightmares.
I mean, that is a good point, but
Yeah.
everything is going to increase exponentially, and particularly animals and bugs of pretty much every kind, because of
And
how
I
many eggs and stuff they lay, or animals they give birth to, etc., or eggs they lay for the other animals and chickens and stuff. It all depends on all of that. Bugs are
yeah,
some of the most
and
easily reproduced, though, in comparison to animals. I'll give them that.
yeah,
Ugh.
but life will find a way. Life will find a way. Humans could become increasingly more fertile because of the need to repopulate the planet. We don't know like what effect nature has on us as a whole. We don't even understand how we connect to the earth and how things could work. Like it could be a possibility that we would have like some sort of genetic change because of that would increase fertility and create a whole bunch of duggars.
I mean,
Yeah.
true.
You got to think about like if you look at family sizes way back 100 years ago, 200 years ago, they always all of them had like tons of kids, tons, like 5, 10 kids. Now it's like 2.5. Some people only have one kid. And we don't have as many kids, but back then they were. And even though their life expectancy, I don't know what's the number, like 40%, 50% didn't make it out of infancy or childhood, they still had massive numbers of children because
True.
there was birth control. Well, we have birth control now, but there wasn't birth control then. So, and people like to be doing the jiggy jiggy. So there's that.
That's true.
Oh yeah, yeah. So
I
there
mean,
could
that's a
be
potential.
like increase. Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of factors. I'm like, we don't know like what would happen. All I know is I think freeze-dried foods are the way to go. Get buckets and buckets of it. Just try to like make it so that you live next door to the freeze-dried food factory, and then you could just go there and get freeze-dried food, add water, rehydrated. You're good for a year or 5 or 20.
Okay, then let's bring into play diseases. Because now that we don't have all the medicines and everything, assuming that like nuclear war or whatever happened and the entire Earth is legitimately ravaged, hospitals are destroyed and decimated. You're lucky to find a
Right.
bottle of ibuprofen or something. You know, your
But
kids
but
your
let me
kids are
point
not going to
out,
be vaccinated. Your kids will not be vaccinated.
right.
So you
Yeah,
may
but they're
be
also
immune to
not
the
going to be
Black
going
Plague.
to schools. They're not going to be going to school and daycare with hundreds of other kids that are going there sick because their parents can't to go to work.
That doesn't matter when something's floating around in the air.
Well, I mean, if you don't have a huge population of people spreading something, like if you think about it, like you might have centers of people, but they're not going to be huge centers of people. And if you're dealing with an apocalypse situation where there's not a lot of modes of travel other than by horseback, the likelihood of you running into a whole lot of people is really low until they start building cities again.
Fair.
And I want to point out, like, hygiene was a factor in a lot of diseases.
That is true.
Yeah. Although we will be going through an apocalypse, we will not have forgotten about hygiene,
True.
and not drinking the water you pee in. I think that's bad. And don't dump your urine and your feces into the street. I think they did that in London back in the way olden days. They'd call out before they dumped the chamber pots into the streets.
You.
Yeah, that main river is at the Thames. That thing was polluted back in the 1600s.
Oof.
Oh yeah. I mean, random historical factoids, when we look at that. So, my point being is that I think that when we move forward into an apocalypse, that we will not have forgotten our knowledge that cholera and the yellow fever and all that was caused by um uh not being clean,
Fair.
literally. And I think that was it cholera, yellow fever, I can't remember. One of them was caused by human waste in the ground. So at the end
I'm
of the
not sure.
day, I can't remember. That one I'm not super with the diseases. I know like Black Plague. The plague itself that was spread by rats, i.e. fleas.
Yeah.
And that's how that one was spread. But it's kind of yeah, yeah, there's that.
Okay.
I lost
So, how about
train of
this
thought.
for an apocalyptic scenario? Rise of the homicidal machines. They already have robots that are essentially capable of
Oh,
speech and movement and stuff. They have robots for the military that are capable of holding and using guns and are also extremely hard to knock over. I mean, they've got the military kicking them and running into them and drop kicking them and stuff, and they're still standing on their feet and can keep their balance. They can jump and do parkour just a little bit. It's not incredibly fast or anything, but yeah, we're getting there.
I can't even there's a couple different movies like Homicidal Machines. If you look at
Terminator,
yeah, yeah, huh?
Terminator, iRobot.
Yeah, iRobot, Terminator, and you've got the one from the 80s. I can't remember it. It's got the Hell's Bells song from AC/DC.
I
It's got
that does not help me.
I know, I can't remember it right
Well,
now.
I
It's
will
got
just give you
the
this little heads up real quick. If you're
main
gonna
song.
try to get me to remember something by telling me that it's got an old rock song in it or something, you're not helping the situation for me. I do not know music hardly at all because it drives me nuts to listen to most music.
What about the semi truck with the green clown face? Maximum Overdrive. Killer Machines,
Uh,
Killer Clowns. Maximum Over. I love that movie.
I know what you're talking about because I've seen like little clips of it. I don't know if I've
Oh
seen
yeah,
it.
that's a good
I
one.
might have because that rings a bell for me, but it's been a
Yeah,
while. That's an older one, isn't it?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Pop machines were spewing out pops and killing people, and Electric knives were cutting off hands. Nothing like my life. That's a really good movie. Yeah, cars were driving themselves. The ice cream truck was trying to run kids down. It reminded me of my favorite song. I am the ice cream man, running over children in my big right van. That's it. That's
Oh
all I've got.
my God.
Yeah.
Uh, wow.
That's a good one. I'm telling you. Telling
I
you.
think that would be scary if machines took over.
I don't think I like it. But I just want to point out I was perusing your list, and did you notice the last one?
Yeah, humans will turn into batteries. I wanted
Well,
to get
it's
to that
like,
last. I need to see what that means.
yeah, but let's just go straight to it because we
That's
need to get really into that.
sponsored
Human.
stories. None of this is not of them. Hold on. Life asteroid. Oh, wait, hold on. Technological collapse. Um, no.
No, no, keep
Planned by
going.
some
Keep going. It's the
states.
last one.
Well, no,
You
the last one wasn't even it. See, this is even zombie apocalypse. Nanotechnology, nuclear war, genocidal government, global system collapse. What would cause an?
genocidal
What the
government.
heck?
But he started.
Okay, I'm curious. I'm gonna Google it because I didn't see it on the list, and then the last things I was
Yeah,
seeing were
I
like other
did. I want to
stories.
know. Yeah, let's do this. How humans turned into batteries. Never heard of
Humans
such a thing.
turned into
What movie is that
batteries.
from?
Right? No kidding.
Oh, it was in your
Thomson
search.
Reuters Foundation in a move that will give chills to fans, the dystopian movie The Matrix. Oh,
The Matrix.
oh, that makes more sense. Yeah, no, I'm good. I don't want that. I'm already out. I know where that ends up. No.
And oh, speaking of like health things, like when you were talking about like if there was an apocalypse and everything was gone, and health issues and not being able to get medicine, I want to kind of point out something that especially in the United States, a number one contributing factor for a lot of health problems is obesity, and obesity is caused by poor diets,
True.
poor diets with lack of nutrition, high in fat and sugar. So McDonald's and Burger King and Taco Bell and all the good foods are going to be gone, and you're
Oh, well,
trying to
yeah.
survive. It's not like you can go out and go hunt down a chocolate cake or no bake cookies.
That
You
is
know what I'm saying?
very true.
Yeah, so your whole diet would change,
Your whole
and
diet will basically turn into meat and surrounding plants and berries and other things that you can find until you learn how to cook
um,
more properly,
yeah.
too.
Ooh, where do pecans grow? I want to live there. Oh, that's Georgia. I'm moving to Georgia. They got pecans. I could live next to a pecan tree.
You just live next to a pecan grove. There you go. But you can't live
Yeah.
off of that forever, though you would need fruits and
Wow.
stuff too. But Georgia's also home to a lot of like orange and grapefruit groves too. And the reason I know that is one of my previous jobs. They have groves up in Georgia, right at the bottom, which means they
Oh,
also
I
have
did.
pecan groves at the bottom too, because that's where
Yeah.
they get their pecans from too.
Yeah, we stopped on my way when I was moving to Jacksonville. We stopped in Georgia at like a pecan farm, and oh, they had all kinds of pecan stuff. Just pecans, and then they had like pecan pralines, and they had the cooked pecan pie. Oh, 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 oh. Yes, I could survive on pecan pie.
I mean,
Yeah,
maybe. I mean, you still need
yeah.
something else, and you definitely still need other stuff in your diet to survive. That will kill you. It'll be a bit of a.
We
It might be a bit of a slow death, depending, but that will kill you. But I guess
slow
going
death,
out from pecan
fast
pie
death,
death probably sounds good to you.
death by pecan pie. That's what I'm talking about.
All right, we
Hell
are
yeah.
at 39 minutes and 10 seconds. Should we go on a little bit more, or should we cut it in a few
Um,
minutes?
might as well just keep going at this point. Are you trying to shut me up? Are you trying to shut me up, Aiko? Is that what's going on here?
No, I
Hmm?
was curious because we talked about doing about 30 minutes to an hour, somewhere between that, so I figured I would ask.
Yeah. Yes, folks. I have not been feeling well today. So Aiko is trying to be a sweetheart. He's so sweet.
I'm a darling angel.
Yeah, I don't know about all of that. I mean, like, you just went a little bit far with the whole thing. We, let's back that train up, Aiko.
Haven't you seen my wings in the halo?
Is it those swords that are holding the halo up that I'm more concerned with?
Those are supposed to be painted with invisible ink.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, your neighbor called that they said they found your pitchfork in their yard.
Oh joy.
Uh,
My true identity revealed.
dun dun dun. The plot thickens.
Whichever the fuck one of you people thought I was human. Ha! No, I'm
Oh
kidding.
my god. Aiko, in an apocalypse, I've determined is probably going to become a cannibal almost immediately.
Absolutely not. I will not eat people. No. No. Just to bring it to a real thing, like I've watched enough children die from cancer and parents crying over their bodies and known enough people that died from that and other diseases and stuff and or other events. I'm just like, no. That thought had come to mind mostly because I think at the time I had just finished for some of that. I had just finished watching like the movies for Hannibal Lecter, and
Mhm.
I watched the show like last year. It was fantastic. It was very good, very well done. But I'm just like, no, absolutely not, absolutely not. I will give that I forget his name, but I give the actor absolute credit. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's Anthony Hopkins, right? Played
Mhm.
Hannibal in the movies. He did a fantastic job. But hold on, I've
Do
got
you
to
feel
find
like
out
you could have done it better, though? I
who
mean, do you
played
feel like you could have been a better Hannibal actor?
in the TV
We
series.
should produce our own movie
This
and
guy,
cast you as Hannibal Lecter and
Mad
just do a
Ditman,
redo.
McKelson,
What?
McKelson.
What about this guy?
This guy is a phenomenal actor. He was the absolute perfect Hannibal Lecter. If you have not seen the show, I do recommend it. It is very, very good. It is
Is
very
it
good.
very good?
Yes, I put it for like a psychological show. I put it at one of my absolute like tops, like top three for sure. For like a psychological show that kind of gets to you, but you want to watch more, and it's just deep and involved and mysterious and stuff. And you get several characters backstories and stuff throughout the whole thing, including his, and it's phenomenal. I mean, he plays
Okay.
it so well. It's perfect.
Now, I want you to type this into your little screeny thing there. Are you ready?
Hmm.
Alexander Skarsgård. I forgot how to spell it. That guy's hot. Thanks for pulling up his pictures.
Jesus Christ.
Where'd he go? Put it back. Come
No,
back. Come back.
no.
Put it back. There's some shirtless pictures.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
take a peek
I
around.
already clicked on the first one, and you're like, yeah, that guy's hot. I'm like, okay, no. We're talking apocalypse and cannibalism.
Well, if I'm stuck in apocalypse, I'd like to be stuck with him. I'm just putting that one out there. We'll repopulate the planet.
Oh my god.
Yes. And just so you all know, we are not sponsored by Alexander Skarsgård. I sure wish we were.
Or McKelson. I think I'm pronouncing that right.
Yeah.
You're not sponsored by anybody yet, but if anybody wants to sponsor us, we will take all of your offers. Thank you.
All offers considered, seriously. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, that's all we have.
Yeah, honestly. One more thing. I'm going to look into, I want to see what exactly technological singularity would be.
Oh, that'd be like one of the electromagnetic pulses that knocks out all the technology.
Oh, well,
Complete.
hypothetical future where technological growth is out of control and irreversible. These intelligent, powerful technologies would radically and unpredictably transform our. Okay, so basically, artificial intelligence that target humans and uh, wipe us out over time. Okay.
Oh, sweet. Oh, kind of like your cell phone giving you like brain cancer, right?
Well, I mean, more like they slowly do things to kill you. Like, if you think of it this way, there's all these stop emergency buttons for machines and stuff. What's to say that they don't hook up an artificial intelligence because it's the new thing to the whole complex? You're inside doing maintenance. The artificial intelligence just turns it on. You're squashed. Done. Bye.
Oh, I was just reading in Discord Fronter's comment about we do need to stream us playing Arizona
I
Sunshine.
won't be able to do that
That's sucky peewee. How come?
because it's on the Oculus and not on Steam. I cannot play with you guys on Steam. I can
Oh,
stream from Steam and such, but I don't think I can stream from Oculus because I
oh,
can't. I
that's so
can't even.
weird.
Yeah, I can't even pull up my the desktop from the Oculus games. If I play through
Wait,
Steam, I can
I can share my screen in Oculus.
to your phone, right?
And no, I can share it on my TV. I can share it, but if I share it on my phone, then I can share it into Discord.
That's true.
So there's got to be a way to do it. We
You
just
know what?
aren't aware of it.
I'm just gonna Google that real fast.
Totally worth
Can I
exploring. Like
share my
we're still on
Oculus
live on the show.
Quest? Yeah, we are, but it's fine.
Oh, I
This
didn't
this will
know if
give
you
people
were
that
there.
like to play VR games to PC.
Yeah, I'm ready to. I actually had my Oculus and cleaned it today and put it in the cabinet. And I'm like, oh, I want to play Arizona Sunshine soon.
Yeah, maybe tomorrow.
Well, I'm like thinking maybe tonight.
You're the
I
one that
can't
said you don't
tomorrow.
feel good.
Tomorrow I'm going. It's Girls' Day with my mom. I'm super excited.
Oh,
We're going about an hour away to a big town north of here, and they got all the good stuff like Five Guys and Firehouse Subs and Coles. So I'm
nice.
super excited. There's a Meyer, Big Lots, and all the
Well,
good
I'm
stuff.
probably off for
And a
at least
bookstore.
2 weeks because, yeah, well,
Yeah. Well,
I've got a
yeah.
few
So
things to
tomorrow,
do for this job, so before I can actually start.
yeah, tomorrow's out for me, and I'm not sure, but I think Rachel is coming either Thursday or Friday. I can't remember. My memory, I don't put things in my
Yeah,
calendar. I
you're
always
good.
say I'm going to do it, then I forget.
Well, find out, let me know, and then we'll go from there. Because I'm gonna be honest, I'm exhausted after today. I didn't sleep
Yeah.
much last night to begin with. I kept waking up, and then I got up early to get ready for doing some shopping stuff, and then I got called in for a plant tour that didn't happen. They had to reschedule, which is
Yeah.
okay. I'm fine with that. I was like, hey, no worries.
Yeah.
We'll get it done.
Yeah, and then you went to Burger King. What did you get?
Two Whoppers, extra ketchup and mayo and stuff.
Extra ketchup and extra mayo?
Yeah, I just got extra, whatever sauces they put on it. That's basically what I told them. They didn't hardly put any extra on it this time, so I had to put more on it myself. She's like,
You
come
like eat
on.
the Whopper, everything's like falling out of it. Is that
Well, no,
it's
no,
all
no, no,
messy?
no. I don't get it that bad. But when they make it initially, it's like they put hardly anything on there. You only taste it for like the last bite in the center, and that's it. That that
Oh,
at,
you
at
do the
least at this
same thing
Burger
I
King.
do.
At least
You
at
eat the
this Burger
sandwich
King.
in a circle. You eat the sandwich in
Sometimes,
the circle and save the middle
sometimes,
for
yeah.
last.
But mostly because I
I
like to
like
have
that.
meat in my bite. I like to actually have something in my bite that's not just bread, and usually the outside is just bread, at least partially. So
Oh,
yeah,
I remember back in the olden days when the Whopper was bigger than the bun, or as big as the bun. It like fit the bun perfectly. But I don't know. I like the Whopper now. It's not bad. I mean, like I don't know. Is it that pink slime? Is it like a pink slime slurry?
I don't know.
I don't know either, but
I
it
don't want to
tastes
think
good.
about that.
I just want to talk about breakfast. I'm like somebody can talk about breakfast.
All right, that puts us at 10 seconds from 50 minutes. I think we should cut it
All
here.
right. And with that, y'all don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the reminder bell so you are reminded of when we drop new content. And don't forget, we will be on Twitter very soon and we will share that information with you. And we'd like to thank you for joining us tonight and thank you for your support.
Yes, and one more idea. Copy paste our channel and our videos into other random YouTubers' chats. I'm
Oh,
kidding.
and
Don't
don't
do that. Don't do
forget,
that.
like,
Don't do that. Please don't do that. I think we can get in a
when
lot
you
of trouble.
when you said random paste, I started thinking about like the paste that they had when I was in school, and that stuff tasted good. It was
I'm not even sure what you're talking about. If we had
paste.
anything like that, I have no idea.
Well, I'm older than you, and we had paste. It came in like a tub with a plastic stick attached to the lid, and you
Yeah.
could just scoop it out, and you just rub the paste onto your hands or the project. Or
That just
I
sounds
had
nasty.
paste
I'm
all over
sorry.
me.
I'm sorry.
I
That
even
sounds
put
nasty.
paste in my hair.
I'm good
I
on
was an
that.
amazing friend.
I'm good without that. But anyway, guys, yes, don't do what I suggested, but please do like, favorite, comment, subscribe, you know, everything
And hit the
else.
reminder bell.
Yes, the
Hit
reminder
that reminder
bell.
bell so you are notified when we drop new content.
And when we go live, so that you can comment on our live chat so that we can respond to you.
All right. I wish I had some paste.
Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next episode.